Chainsaw Man is not just a screen adaptation of a popular manga, but a real phenomenon that rarely happens with a project before its premiere. And even less often is this trust justified. What made this story so captivating, and why should you watch it right now? Attention! The video contains spoilers. Subscribe to the channel and click on the bell icon to not miss new videos. The Chainsaw Man is an adaptation of the eponymous manga by Tatsuki Fujimoto, which became popular even before the anime adaptation. Even if Fujimoto's creation had remained on paper, it would still have gone down in history. The point is that the Chainsaw Man breaks all the laws of the shonen genre, although it formally follows them. At first glance, the story consists of cliches. The main character Danji is an orphan who gains superpowers, joins a team of fighters against evil, and sets out to fulfill his dream. But it's not that simple. Typically, shonen heroes, despite their hardships, remain kind and honest people. Remember how Naruto and Ichigo were not broken by difficulties. And Luffy and Midoriya continued to believe in their dreams and inspire people around them. But Danji and his colleagues realistically show what the cruel world does to people. The main character is foolish, motivated only by food and physical pleasure. And his empathy is almost non-existent. And that's perfectly normal because a person who grew up in such terrible conditions could not be any different. The dreams of the main character cannot be called noble. He wants to try bread with jam and touch a woman's breast. No. Bright goals of saving the world. No. Common good, only personal comfort, because the world has rejected him for too long. The characters in this story are not charming, eccentric, but truly traumatized, broken, and insane. They are not likable, but the audience understands why they behave this way. And it's very interesting to follow them. The story manages to balance on the edge of black comedy and drama. The repulsive is intertwined with the touching, and fantasy with realism. The characters, plot, jokes, all of this is unlike any story from the manga magazine Shonen Jump, where Chainsaw Man is published. It would be better suited for an independent small publishing house. The characters here die quickly, the battles are truly bloody, and the jokes are too cruel and even stupid. At the same time, the story is obviously made with an eye on the mass reader. Fujimoto knows how to create truly depressing stories, filled with black humor and permeated with despair, no less than Evangelion. Mappa Studio was entrusted with a great responsibility. Fans had too many expectations. One mistake and the series would have become vulgar, flat, and cliched. Yet the manga was valued for its delicate balance between mainstream and authorial, touching and eccentric, funny and horrifying. But the anime did the almost impossible. It not only became worthy of the source material, but in many ways even surpassed it. The thing is, Tatsuki Fujimoto is a great connoisseur of cinema. All of his works are filled with cinematic references. This was played out in the anime opening, where almost every shot refers to different films. When the team of heroes in black suits walks down the street, it's a reference to Reservoir Dogs. The bowling alley scene is reminiscent of The Big Lebowski, and the scene with Denji and Pachida is taken from the Texas Chainsaw Massacre. Moreover, the Chainsaw Man is more of a highly detailed storyboard for a screen adaptation than a manga. Fujimoto creates incredible camera angles, skillfully conveys movement, but does not devote too much time to emotions and reflection. The manga, as if deliberately, rarely slows down the pace, so that readers do not get bored, but at the same time seems to leave space for the director. The animator was able to capture the manga artist's idea and reveal his world and story much more deeply. The series is more reminiscent of game cinematography than anime. While watching, we are not left with the feeling of a static camera. The dialogues of the characters are filmed as if they were taken with octacams from game cinema, creating the impression that the characters are not drawn, but are actually played by live actors. They move without the usual sharpness, and the amount of visual jokes typical of anime has been minimized. Even in comedic scenes, we see more of the plasticity of live people. At the same time, Chainsaw Man retains all the things we love about anime and shonen. In particular, bright and memorable battles, whimsical demons, a complex system of superpowers, and eccentric characters. The action scenes are shot according to anime rules. The heroes break all the laws of physics for the sake of spectacle and aesthetics. The fight scenes are fast-paced and rhythmic, contrasting with everyday life scenes. Even in terms of color, the story constantly keeps the audience in suspense, shifting from comedy to drama, and from crude jokes to reflections on human nature. Science fiction coexists with social criticism of modern Japan. Genre cliches, such as tough training under a strict teacher, are interrupted by musings on imperfections in the political system. The anime almost page for page creates the manga, taking all the best moments from it, but adding new scenes. Most often, these scenes focus on small details that help us better understand the characters. For example, the anime devotes a lot of time to Aki. In the manga, his story only served as a backdrop for Denji's development. But here he is just as much a main character. These decisions slow down the dynamic story without making it boring. All the excitement is fully revealed in the action scenes, which, because of the contrast, seem even more vivid and impressive. In the manga, everything happens very quickly, and we do not have time to become attached to many of the characters. So, Himeno's death is much more vividly perceived in the anime. Partly this is because the new characters are introduced late enough in the first season so that we have time to feel the void that is created. However, the anime doesn't slow down the pace, but rather places brighter accents and gives more time for reflection. Just as we start to relax during everyday life scenes, we are suddenly thrown into the midst of battle. Just as we mourn our losses, whimsical comedic episodes begin. If you give the viewer a chance to exhale, then plot twists surprise even more strongly. Like Naruto and many other anime heroes, Denji is not quite human. Having replaced his heart with a demon, he is now somewhere in between. This is a genre cliché that is supposed to show that our actions and ability to maintain faith and goodness make us human. But today, this technique is somewhat tiring. We don't doubt such heroes because, despite some quirks, they are always exemplars of kindness. The only question is when they will prove it to those around them. And the numerous demons in the world of anime are often eccentric enough, but it quickly becomes clear that they are just like us. In Chainsaw Man, people fear demons for a reason. Their morality and desire are truly far from human norms. That's why power doesn't become more pleasant and less selfish over time. Its nature is completely different, like all demons. It understands only power, hierarchy, and exchange. The contrast between it and ordinary people shows how different our worlds are. No wonder Kishibe says that the strongest hunters are the ones who have gone insane. They are closer to demons than to humans, and therefore, they survive more often. Denji understands power better than Aki. And it's not just because he's half demon. He grew up outside of society and was far from ordinary people from the very beginning. He never knew care, love, or family. But what do we see when we look at this world through his eyes? It turns out that people and demons are not so different from each other. Both want power. But unlike demons, people hide behind beautiful words and social norms. This is perfectly illustrated by the scene with Makima and the members of the Yakuza. They are unprincipled and will do anything for their goals. But Makima doesn't hide it. And the Yakuza talk about forced evil and the balance of power. Sometimes the goals of the heroes seem noble. Like in the case of Himeno, who sacrificed herself for Aki. But would she do the same to save someone else? No, she only does it for someone close and important to her. Despite the numerous biblical allusions and references, The Chainsaw Man is a story that shatters faith in goodness and selflessness. But this is only the first season, and we are very interested in what will happen next. Of course, as in any shonen, good will prevail, but in this anime, the price will make us think, was the victory worth all the sacrifices? If you wanted to start watching anime, then The Chainsaw Man is an excellent first step. It goes beyond all boundaries. combining the best of the animation and film world. Here you will find both Naruto and Death Note, and also Quentin Tarantino and the Coen brothers, and many other references. And that's all for now. Thanks for watching, see you next video.